In a lush, sprawling canopy, where ancient trees whispered secrets to the wind and sunlight dappled through emerald leaves, lived two small birds, Puku and Puki. They were siblings, born into a cozy nest woven with love and sheltered by the strongest branches. From the moment their downy feathers appeared, it was clear they were destined to approach the world in very different ways. Puki, with her bright, inquisitive eyes, was a natural observer. She spent hours perched on the edge of the nest, watching the older birds swoop and glide, studying the currents of the wind, mapping the safest routes between branches. Her heart pounded with a cautious wonder for the vast world outside. But she believed in understanding before acting. Puku, on the other hand, a bundle of restless energy, quivered with an insatiable curiosity. He wanted to feel the wind beneath his wings, to taste the dew on distant leaves, to know the thrill of a daring dive. For him, every moment of observation felt like a moment lost from experience. The day came for their first flight lessons. Their parents, wise old birds, encouraged them equally. Puki took her time. She practiced flapping her wings relentlessly within the nest, strengthening her muscles, visualizing every movement. When she finally took the leap, it was a gentle, measured descent, followed by an unsteady but controlled flutter. She wobbled, she dipped, but she never truly fell. Each flight was a careful experiment, refined with thoughtful analysis. She learned by watching, by preparing, and by executing with precision. Her flights, while not always spectacular, were always safe, always steady. Puku, however, couldn't wait the moment his parents showed them how. He launched himself into the air with a wild, exuberant screech. He flapped with all his might, but without the careful observation and muscle-building practice. His first attempt was an undignified tumble straight into a pile of soft moss below. His parents rushed to him, but he simply shook himself off, ruffled his feathers, and looked up with determination. "I'll try again," he chirped. And he did. He fell, many times. He bumped his head, scraped a wing, and often landed in a tangled heap of leaves. Each fall brought a pang of frustration. Sometimes a tear, but always, always, a renewed resolve. He learned by doing, by failing, by getting back up. He learned how the wind felt when it pushed him off course, how his wings needed to move to correct a wobble, how to trust his instincts in a sudden gust. His flights, though often clumsy at first, became increasingly daring, full of twists and dives that Puki watched with a mix of awe and anxiety. As they grew, their unique styles continued. Puki meticulously researched the best berry bushes, remembering which ones ripened first and which offered the sweetest nectar. She built sturdy, well-hidden nests, planning for every season. Puku, driven by his adventurous spirit, discovered new clearings, found hidden streams, and led them to never-before-seen patches of wildflowers. He often got lost, but always found his way back, richer for the journey and with exciting tales to tell. One day, a ferocious storm rolled through the forest. The wind howled, rain lashed down, and branches snapped. Puki, true to her nature, had sensed the change in the air days ago. She had reinforced their nest, gathered extra provisions, and found the most sheltered crevice in the oldest oak. When the storm hit, they were ready, tucked away safely. But Puku, restless even in the face of danger, saw an opportunity. As the storm began to subside, leaving behind a chaotic but strangely beautiful aftermath, he spotted a distant, unfamiliar gleam. "I have to see what that is," he cried. Despite Puki's worried chirps, he flew out, battling the last remnants of the fierce winds, dodging falling debris. It was a perilous journey, but his countless falls and recoveries had taught him an incredible agility and resilience. He found not a treasure, but a smaller, weaker bird trapped beneath a fallen branch. With Puku's strength and ingenuity, and eventually Puki's careful guidance, who had followed, unable to let her brother face it alone, they managed to free the bird. Returning home, exhausted but exhilarated, they looked at each other, their feathers ruffled, their eyes shining with a newfound understanding. Life, Puku realized, wasn't just about careful planning and avoiding mistakes. It was also about courage, resilience, and the willingness to stumble and get back up. Life, Puki understood, wasn't just about impulsive leaps and daring adventures. It was also about observation, preparation, and knowing when to be cautious. They learned that life teaches in diverse ways. Some lessons come from quiet contemplation and meticulous preparation, like Puki's steady flight. Others come from the bruising experience of a fall, the sting of disappointment, and the fierce joy of rising again. Like Puku's adventurous spirit, the forest, like life itself, was a tapestry woven from both falls and flights, from cautious steps and bold leaps. Puku and Puki, forever siblings and forever learners, understood that true wisdom came not from choosing one path over the other, but from embracing both, the quiet strength of preparation and the indomitable spirit of resilience. And in doing so, they found their own unique way to soar. The moral of Puku and Puki's story is that life is the greatest teacher, offering lessons in myriad forms. Asterisk some of us are Pukis. Asterisk we find our footing through careful observation, meticulous planning, and learning from the experiences of others. Our growth is steady, thoughtful, and often avoids unnecessary risks. Asterisk others are Pukus. Asterisk we learn by doing, by falling, by making mistakes, and by stubbornly getting back up. Our growth is fueled by resilience, courage, and a willingness to embrace trial and error. Asterisk both paths are valid and vital. Asterisk there's immense value in thoughtful preparation, and there's profound strength forged in the fires of failure and recovery. Asterisk life's challenges, like storms, reveal our true strengths and offer opportunities for growth that we might not otherwise encounter. Asterisk true wisdom lies in understanding and appreciating both approaches, within ourselves and in others. Asterisk embrace your own way of learning, but also learn to value the lessons found on different paths. The journey of life is meant to be experienced in its entirety, with all its stumbles and its soaring triumphs.